Good evening, Dr. Hightower. This is Danielle Clark. So I'm getting ready for journal number 5, and I think it's interesting. So, insights I've gained and lessons that I've learned while doing this course. A lot of insight, a lot of self reflection, a lot of introspection. I just finished watching the Simon Sinek video, and I would say the why is what I strive for. I think I have been getting much more closer to it as I've gone through the coursework and as I have been, thinking about all the different activities that we've done, especially with a lot of the work that we've done in this course, to be honest with you. I think the journals have helped with that. They've helped me take a deeper look at myself, which I hadn't done, I think, to such a deep level. And I think it's different probably getting to the point where we are with our coursework and thinking about things that I've done in the past and things that I'm currently doing in regards to the work and the readings and the learnings that we've gone through. So I would say the why is what I'm striving for. I think I'm getting closer to it, but I think I can still get stuck in the what and the how, because I think I have been there for years, but I'm trying to get out of that. One of his quotes that has resonated with me, and I know that we've used this video before in other courses, was that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I know that I have made it a priority when I'm at work to model the expectations that I want to see, and I try to reinforce that anytime I can. So if I want to be open and I want to be collaborative, I absolutely try to do that with other people, regardless of a title, regardless of this is what I do, this is what you do, and the duties that are assigned. I very much want to be a part of a team, and I believe in the power of team. I say that, but I also practice that. So I think that's really important. Some of the other things that I've learned in this course, that being politically intelligent is critical. I think we need to know who we are. We need to know our political styles, but I think it's important that we're able to recognize the styles of others that we work with, or in even, personal and professional world. It was interesting when we did the activity in cohort, and people that I have gotten personally close to have very different political styles than I do, but we had talked about, Dr. Johnson had us highlight who we were in terms of how we scored, but also too recognizing the styles that we were scored very low on. And some of them were very close friends of mine, but it was interesting because it wasn't about who the person was. It's about these are the behaviors and learning and understanding about them. It kind of spoke to who they were, and it made a lot of sense. But I think we separate that part of it, and it's just a learning, and we use that information to better be able to navigate our surroundings and navigate who we are and who we work with. So I think that the political styles are important because I think they're considerations that we always have to take with us no matter what area we're going into, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a group project, especially with group projects when we rely on other people and we have to support others. And we all know that we have this end result we want to get to. So I think we work and support each person's style because I think it will achieve the end result that we need. Something else that I learned, that power can come in many forms and through various resources. And, it can be positional, it can be hierarchical. There's places that I have felt powerful, and there's places where I have absolutely felt like I wasn't powerful. And sometimes it was because of a position that I had. Sometimes it had nothing to do with the position that I had. It had to do with the people that I was working with. It had to do with people that weren't necessarily above me in the organizational structure. It was going into situations where I didn't always feel as confident. It was having people see me in a vulnerable state. I think that is hard for me. But I'm getting to the point, not there yet, but I'm trying to get to the point where vulnerability is okay because it's a place that I am able to learn from, and it's a place that I can get and receive feedback from, and it's a place where I can show others that I'm a human being as well. So I think that is an important piece, but that is something that I still struggle with. Because it is important to me how people perceive me, and I know that I can't always control that. So I always want to make sure that I'm able to be seen in a positive light. So I try my hardest all the time to do that. And I think also I've learned that power is relative. It depends on the situation. It depends on, what the end goal is. Sometimes it is just a matter of, positional authority in it, but I think it could be somebody who has knowledge of something and it has nothing to do with their title or position. It could be somebody that we're all looking to as a leader or to provide information and to be helpful for us. And something else that I recognize, and it was one of our last journal entries, was that power can be lost very quickly. And I've experienced that, and that's absolutely difficult, and it can be devastating. And sometimes it's because of situations that we create, and other times it's because of situations that we have no control over at all, and that is very hard to deal with. Because I think when sometimes it's some situations that you create, you kind of at least have the understanding of, okay, I understand why this happened because of A, B, and C. But when it's through situations that we can't control and it's completely out of left field, like a blind spot, then that's very, very difficult. And I have worked through that and I have come out of that. But, being through it, that activity absolutely resonated with me. Just the idea of that loss and so many feelings that were a part of that. But, I have worked through it and have tried to find the learning experiences from that. So it has been a powerful learning experience for me, especially going through this program, because I think we can learn from our actions, and we can, it's a continuous cycle of learning, especially in that situation. Another learning that power and politics work together for group decision making, as well as problem solving. The use of structure and devices creates a really good, we call them brain maps in school, and just different devices to help guide conversations, to make them more purposeful, to make them more succinct. And I think I have used them, and especially in our signature assignment, and then in coursework that we've done in our strategic planning. But I try to incorporate them as much as I can, because I think it does help bring a lot of information together, and it helps create a much more organized way of doing things and having collaborative teams, I guess, and different projects that we do, because oftentimes we get lots of people together and there's lots of information that is brought forth and shared. And I think when we use those structuring devices, we can get to a place where we have an end result, we have very succinct information, and we have something in which to guide us for moving forward. So I think the use of those are important for supporting the discourse, for learning and collaboration. And then, ethics are so critical. I think sometimes, going into it, especially in this last assignment we did, ethics and ethical behavior seems pretty cut and dry. It seems like an easy thing to talk about. But I think in looking at that last book, the Howard work, in those considerations, it's like, yes, I do this. Oh, yeah, but then there's this one time when I couldn't, whether it's a life or death situation or not. So as easy as it seems to have an ethical code of conduct, I think it's important that you recognize everything is not black and white. Though you do want to hold yourself to very high standards, everything is not always like that. But we do want to ensure that we practice ethical behavior and hold to that code, because I think that's really what truly defines us as leaders. And I think as leaders, we all strive for the what, and we often get stuck in the how. And I think it's important that we always try and live in that why, like Simon said. One of the books, or the book that I spoke about in my last project for our cohort, was The Influencer, and I thought it was important. There's lots of takeaways when it talked about the model. But being an influencer is much different than being somebody that persuades. It talked about influence versus persuasion. And I think oftentimes as leaders, we get people to do things because of persuasion, good or bad. But I think the true powerful leader is one that can move organizations because of their influence, and it's much more long lasting. So that was a big takeaway that I learned, and I thought that book was great, and all of the stories that it told, I think it was very powerful. So in the end, I think that nothing is easy. I think everything is not clear, and I think that that's okay. But I think that we take all of these pieces that we've learned in this course and we reflect on it, and we always do, and we are always striving to be better people. So that will be it. Thank you very much.